Hi everybody, Marco Carbajo here from businesscreditblogger.com. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to pre-qualify for actual business lines of credit, loans, and cash for your business. And this, I'm not talking about credit cards for the business, I'm talking about actual business lines of credit through a business capital review. So this is a really exciting presentation that I want to get into. We're going to share with you what are the minimum requirements. And for those of you who don't meet those minimum requirements, you want to listen towards the end of the video because we share with you how to also do a review for those of you who don't meet these minimum requirements. Okay, so when we're talking about business lines of credit, you see that everywhere. Everyone talks about business lines of credit. There's so many different types of lines of credit for a business. But what we're going to talk about here is an actual business line of credit, a line of credit that you can pull cash from. These are not credit cards. That's one of our funding products we do is business credit card funding, but this is actual business lines of credit. Okay, so what we do here with this particular review is we actually have a process set up where your capital is reviewed by the processing company. So they look at revenue. That's the main factor they're looking at is revenues for the business. So it's less than 60 seconds. It's done online. It's very simple. I'm going to walk you right through it. And basically they're using technology to streamline the underwriting process. They're looking at your bank account data, your revenues coming through the business. They do conduct a soft pull on your personal credit. So there's no hard pull on your credit. So it's a soft pull, so that's no impact. And they do pull your Experian report. And this is a soft pull. So no impact to your score. Now the approvals are based on your bank deposit revenue. Now, we're talking about business lines of credit, but the beauty of this, when they do a review, they look at all types of funding that's available to you. Okay, so let's talk about the minimum requirements for a business capital review. You see the link down there, businesscapitalreview.com. I'm going to go into that process, what to expect, how it works, timelines, etc. So first, obviously, you have to have a business checking account. You have to have money coming into a business bank account for the company, not your personal account, a business checking account. Number two, your minimum revenues has to be at least $15,000 a month in revenue. If you're under that, don't worry. At the end of this video, we're going to share with you how to submit a review if you're under that number with our other funding review process. So there's two main levels of funding we're going to talk about here. I like to call it level 1 funding and level 2 funding because what we've had is we have a lot of business owners that go through our level 1 funding review, which is, you've heard me talk about businessfundingreview.com. And that's where we review you for many types of funding products like business credit card funding, loans, as well as revenue-based lines, etc., like from alternative lenders. But then we have business owners that have strong revenues. They're doing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in revenues. And there's another level of funding, different types of lenders that will extend lines of credit to those types of businesses. So the level 1 reviews, you're kind of closed off from the level 2 type, I call it level 2 funding. Once it gets exciting, we're going to talk about that. So how you can take advantage of both as well. So minimum revenues for this particular review is $15,000 a month of revenue. Now, with your personal credit scores, you have to have a minimum 500 credit score with Experian, okay? Because they do a soft pull on your personal Experian report. That's the minimum, okay? Also, you have to be at least 12 months in business. That's another requirement. So this is the basics of basics requirements for you. If you don't meet these requirements, do not submit a business capital review. They're going to reject your application. It's going to be a waste of your time, okay? So you have to be able to be doing $15,000 a month in revenue, a personal credit score of 500 plus with Experian, and 12 months in business. And you have to be based in the United States. That's another requirement. So this is about as simple as it gets. That's your minimum requirements to do the review. Now, when they do this review and you go to businesscapitalreview.com, you're going to fill out a basic form. I'm going to share with you that in a minute. What happens is they send you a docu application so they can do the soft pull on your credit, and also you're going to use Finicity to analyze your bank data. And this is where it explores all the funding that's available. So first of all, there's traditional business lines of credit that's available to you. So that seems to be a very common demand that we have from many business owners that go to businessfundingreview.com is all they submit is a credit report. And they want to get actual business lines of credit, not credit cards. So that's why we want to set up the separate review site the separate process to review you for actual business lines of credit. But you have to meet these revenue requirements for business lines of credit, because the confusing thing most business owners have is when you're getting a traditional business line of credit, not a credit card, the bank, the lenders, they want to see, does your business have the revenues to support the line of credit? If you have little to no revenues, how can you expect to get a $50,000 line of credit or a $100,000 line of credit if your business doesn't have revenues to pay back the line when you use the line of credit? Okay, so that's where there's this gap between understanding there's traditional business lines of credit and then there's business credit cards. With business credit card issuers, what do they use? They use this more the credit worthiness of the individual owner. That's why you do a PG sometimes. Or if the business has a strong enough business credit rating, they look at the business credit file as well. But they're not looking so much at your bank data. They're not looking at your bank statements or tax returns, okay? So when you're getting into more traditional lines of credit, actual business line of credit, they want to do, like here, they want to do a soft pull on your personal, okay? They may pull up a business report as well, but the main thing they're looking at here is revenues, okay? Can the business support the line of credit, okay? With these business lines of credit, they can do up to $250,000 in lines of credit for your business. These are not credit cards, okay? Now, they also have accounts receivable lines of credit, up to $250K, no cap. So when they do this review and they look at your bank data, they look at that, they're analyzing and see what's available. And there's inventory lines of credit up to $250K, no cap. Business advances up to $5 million. So you can see by the amount of money, and that's why we call this level 2 funding for businesses that are doing over $15,000 a month. You could be doing $50,000, $100,000 a month in revenue. There's much more funding opportunities available like this when you have strong revenues as a business. There's term loans up to $100K unsecured and equipment financing up to $1 million. So we have lots of people who come to us who are trying to get $100,000, $200,000 in equipment, etc. And their business doesn't meet the revenue requirement to support that equipment. Okay, yes, the equipment is collateralizing when the lender's looking at it, but you have to have the revenue to support it if you want it in the company's name. Okay, so this is just an overview of the type of funding that businesscapitalreview.com, that's what they're going to present you with if you qualify. This review is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to pay anything up front when you qualify for funding. And that's the beauty of this, and the funding is fast. Okay, so how do you get started if you meet those requirements? I want to see what's available to you, and I want to get into one quick thing here. You may be a business owner watching this video right now, and let's say you've been in business many years. You've been using personal credit cards, let's say, or you have good cash flow. Let's say you're doing $20,000 a month in revenue, and let's say you have really good, strong personal credit, but you've never really built business credit. You want to know what's available to you. Guess what? You could submit reviews for both business credit card funding at businessfundingreview.com, and then you also may want to explore traditional lines of credit for the business by going businesscapitalreview.com. So that way we can review you for both of those. Okay, so let's first get started with businesscapitalreview.com. Don't want to jump ahead of myself here. So how do you apply? You go to businesscapitalreview.com. Very simple. It's just basic information you'll see on there to put in your information. And you'll see that you click submit, and the next thing is going to happen is they're going to send you a DocuSign application. That's a processing company. Okay, they're going to send you the DocuSign, and you're going to connect your business bank account. Most people say, well, what am I giving you access to my business bank account? Is it secure? What actually are you getting? So they're using a tech called Finicity. You could Google that if you want, but that's the encryption that they use you're not giving them full access to your bank account for your business. This is a way for them to retrieve the data, look at their balances, your deposits, etc. So this is many of the technology that many banks use, alternative lenders use as well. But be sure that if you want to check out Finicity, you can see the technology, the security, that your bank account data for your business is secure and it's safe. Okay, so when you do that, they're going to do the review, and they're going to get in contact with you and go over the funding projections, the types of funding that's available to you, and if at that point, if you want to move forward, then they draw up the document to move forward with funding, and then they start the process, and that's it. You don't pay anything up front. There's no monies to be paid. This is a way to streamline the funding process for you as a business owner. And that's what's great, because I know it can get really frustrating because we have lots of business owners, probably like yourself, that go out there, they apply here, apply there, get denied. They don't know why they're getting denied, or they're not sure what's available to them, and at what rates, or what's the best, or they're trying to raise a certain amount of capital to do a project. Okay, so this gives you the opportunity to know firsthand of how much funding you can get, what's available to you, without costing you anything. Number one, there's no hard inquiry on your credit, so you're not getting a ding there. It's all done digitally online, so you don't have to fax in tons of paperwork or mail in documents or email a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, and it's seamless and it's fast. So once you connect the bank account, and they give you a link for that, it's 24 to 48 hours. They get back to you with results. Okay, so it's very similar to our process that we do at businessfundingreview.com for products like business credit card funding, etc. But this is the next level of funding for those of you who are doing good revenues as a business. You're doing over 15K and you're looking for more actual business lines of credit. Okay, so this is the snapshot of the actual page you're going to see. Your name, information. Remember, you have to be 1 year in business minimum, and you have to be doing 15K a month in revenue. If you're not doing that, they're going to reject your application, and it's basically a waste of your time. Okay, so that's the form. Now, and you go to businesscapitalreview.com. So let me give you a real quick overview of what I call level 1, level 2 funding, because we have many business owners that have gone through level 1 funding with us. They've obtained business credit card funding from us, maybe a corporate charge card, a merchant line of credit, and they call us back and say, well, what's next? I want to get more funding. I want to get more access to business credit. I want to expand my access to working capital. So that's when we push them to level 2 funding, because we want to see, well, where are you at right now? Well, we're doing $30,000 a month of revenue, etc. Or we're doing $20,000 a month of revenue. Great, you qualify, you meet that requirement. So let's go to level 2 funding. So we're opening this up to those of you watching us on YouTube. This process, but I want to break this down to make it even easier for you. So if you're a startup business or existing business, and let's say you're doing revenues under 15K, or you have no revenues at all, then you want to go to businessfundingreview.com. That particular review, you'll see in the bottom here, we kind of give you a little overview of many of the funding products that we review you for that review, like business credit card funding, loans, both personal loans and small business loans, revenue-based lines of credit. If you're still doing on 15K a month, there are smaller revenue-based lines that you can get. There's merchant lines of credit, corporate charge cards, personal funding that we do, and equipment financing under 75K. Okay, so that's the type of funding products we review you for, just a snapshot. You want to go to businessfundingreview.com if you're a startup or existing business and your revenues are below 15K. Remember, when we do the review there's no hard pull on your credit there for us to do the review. You're submitting a copy of your credit report for that review, and there's no obligation, there's no cost for us to do review. And when we do the review, we present you with funding projections, or if you don't qualify for, let's say, business credit card funding, we also provide you alternative solutions for you that you can step forward and start building business credit right away. So that's level 1 funding. Now, level 2 funding is what we talked about in this video. This is if you're 1 year in business, you're doing over $15,000 a month in revenue, your score is at least 500 plus on your Experian, then that moves you into another level of funding, such as actual traditional business lines of credit, business loans, accounts receivable lines of credit, inventory lines of credit, business cash advance, and equipment financing over 75K. Okay, so that's Business Capital Review. Now, if you're a business owner and you're like, you know what, I have great personal credit, or let's say you have good revenues, you have over 15,000 in revenue, but let's say you're interested in business credit card funding and traditional business lines of credit, then I'd recommend for you to fill out the form in businessfundingreview.com and businesscapitalreview.com. That way, both processing companies are going through. We're looking at both the data and we're reviewing for both of those products, because you can go through both. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. Okay, so with that, I want to go into real quick a little bit about, most people say we always talk about businesscreditblogger.com. That's our actual blog, but our main website where you can see we showcase all of our products and services, our step-by-step business credit building system. Business Credit Builders with an S.org is our main company website, so definitely give us a visit. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. That way we know you're enjoying this information. And at the same time, if you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you join us. With that, make it a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video presentation. We're going to provide you updates. You'll get notifications of new funding products, strategies, and tactics, and ways for you to build and maximize your funding capacity as a startup or existing business. So with that, make it a great day. We'll talk to you real soon.